All right, on to green now. Back to commons, back to cheap stuff. Turtle Duck. There really is a lot of hybrid animals in this set. So this is single green mana for an 0/4. 3 mana. Until end of turn, this creature has base power 4 and it gains trample.
2 turtle ducks and a partridge and a pear tree. Right?
Tis the season. Tis the season.
Is the season. And I do think, funnily enough, I mean, it's turtle doves, obviously, but I do think that this is a red-green card, so it kind of fits the bill. Whether it's good enough as a red-green card, I think the answer is no.
Yeah, I think so too. Could be surprisingly playable. Like, no, there's no world where this is like, oh man, we really underrated this, but I think it could creep into like, oh, niche playable for those decks.
Yeah, again, another way to spend firebending mana, but it's annoying that like the threat of activation is irrelevant because like them
There's no
not
threat.
blocking it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Would you like to take 0 damage? Ooh, yeah, no, totally. Yeah, so we rated this pretty low. Kind of an interesting card, but
a D.
Yeah, D.
Yeah.
Next up is Pillar Launch. Single green mana for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains reach until end of turn. Untap it.
So the green version of the untap trick that we talked about while reviewing the blue tap, or not untap spell. And these cards are often fine, nothing special. I gave it a D+. You gave it a C-. You're a little higher than me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like the 1 mana untap, give some stats, reach trick is often pretty good. Like Slate over Performer. That's why I think I'm a little bit higher than you.
Well, the one in Mom did really well because people were tapped out all the time, in my opinion.
That's fair. Yeah, I gotta add the modifier of people have open mana a lot in this set.
Because the way that it got used very frequently was like, hey, I have a surprise blocker and I eat your thing. And like, it's hard to do that when someone has fully untapped mana.
Yeah, fair. I'm still holding out hope for this one, though. I like my grade still, so we'll see where that lands. Origin of Metal Bending up next. This is 1 and a green for an instant lesson. Either destroy target artifact or enchantment, or put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains indestructible until end of turn. So good modality, like good in different game states. Naturalized protection spell.
You never want more than one of these.
No,
though.
Definitely, yeah. There's actually quite a bit of there's a lot of protection effects in this set now that we're looking at it. Like 3, I think, which is more than usual. So yeah, it's just something to keep an eye on.
For sure. And we both gave this a C-.
Yep. Next up, Rebellious Captives. This is 1 and a green for a 2/2 ally. Exhaust, 6 mana. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature, and then Earthbend 2. So good early, or okay early. I guess okay late. It's an ally. Fairly filler though.
Yeah, it's not stampeding Scurryfoot, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's didn't make that comparison, but I think there's a reason for that. Yeah, so what do we give it?
I gave it a C-. You gave it a C.
Rocky Rebuke is 1 and a green for an instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. All right, so your standard affair, bite spell, instant speed. Okay.
Yep. Okay, we both gave it a C.
I always get this word wrong. Raucous? How do you pronounce this word?
Raucous?
Raucous? That sounds right. Raucous Audience, yeah. 1 and a green for a 2/1. Tap to add green. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add green instead. They like mana dorks that don't do anything extra are often pretty medium, and having a 1 toughness kind of sucks. Also, I mean, you can have some explosive turns, I can imagine, but I don't think that double adding is anything special.
Not being an ally as well
kind
of hurts. So yeah, you're a little lower than me on this. I think you probably got the nod on this. You gave it a C-. I gave it a C.
Walltop Sentries is 2 and a green for a 2/3 ally. Death Touch and Reach, and when it dies, if there's a lesson in your graveyard, you gain 2 life.
I kind of like this thing.
Yeah, very defensive, but for those like blue-green, kind of, maybe splashy, lesson, saga, those kind of decks, which is kind of what blue-green is doing. I could see it. I could see it being like a fine filler card.
Yeah, it's not a red-green card, but I wonder if it'll be fine in all the other green decks.
Yeah, I guess. I'm trying to think of some sort of comparison.
Well, like we've seen a couple sets recently where a 2/3 Death Touch is just an annoying stat line.
Right.
Like even in Spider-Man, there was the 2/3 Death Touch Mildew in black that was like pretty good.
Yeah.
And reach on this means like you're really shutting up shop, and then the life gain add to that too. Like this card could be actually good.
Yeah, totally. Chad's asking why not red green initial. Like you said, it could be a red green card. I didn't start there. Generally because like yes, it does care about lessons red green, but this it also more broadly is an attacking deck, I would say. And this isn't exactly an attacking card, more of a defensive one.
Yeah, it's low power. Red green wants high power things to kill people quickly.
Yep. Yep. So what do we give it?
C-, both of us.
Yep. Cycle of Renewal. 2 and a green for an instant lesson. Sacrifice a land. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them on the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle. So Harrow for the old time players plus a lesson, or is a lesson. So it double fixes you if you're splish splashing multicolor. There's I guess minor landfall synergies in the set. Kind of a whatever ramp spell though.
Well, it's kind of nice if you like block with an earthbended land and then like chump.
Yeah, okay. I see it. Yeah.
And then you stack it and you actually double ramp.
Yeah, I shouldn't talk it down too much because like in the places it's good, it actually is pretty good. It's just like I can't imagine too many decks are going to want to ramp spells of this nature.
I agree. Yeah, and just the like blue green probably wants this just because you need a lot of lessons. But notably, a lot of the lessons we've seen in blue green don't actually like I talked about this a little bit, but they don't actually impact the board. So this is kind of another one of those like kind of spins the wheels, draws cards in a way, but doesn't actually really add power or toughness or remove anything. So I gave it a D+. You gave it a C-.
Next up, we've got Ostrich Horse. This is 2 and a green for a 3/1. When it enters, mill 3 cards. You can put a land from among them into your hand, and if you don't, you put a 1/1 counter on this card. One of these modes is much better than the other one.
Well, so I mean, there will be times like if you have the what is it? The whatever Dillo, the Tiger Dillo.
Sure, the Wolfadillo or whatever. Yeah, the 4/3. Yeah, you want a 4-power creature on 3. Yeah, I see it.
There could be a spot, but yeah, hitting a land is certainly the main. But you're also potentially milling lessons. There's a few flashback cards here and there. So this card's always been pretty good. We both gave it a C+.
Yeah. It also misses a little more often than you might expect, right? Don't actually consider this as like it's always going to hit a land. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something like I don't know 80, mid 80s or something. So you'll miss on it sometimes and you'll feel bad.
Well, it's like a lot of the firsts we've seen recently have milled 4.
Yeah. I think on this kind of template though, it's usually just 3, but like on other cards, yeah, it's usually mill 4. Foggy Swamp of
yeah. I mean, we saw multiple of the 2-mana 1/1s mill 4 get a land recently.
2-mana 1. Yeah. I just mean like the 3-mana versions. That's all.
Yeah.
Foggy Swamp Vinebender is 3 and a green for a 4/3 ally. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and Waterbend 5. Put a counter on this creature. Activate only on your turn.
Super filler. Both gave it a D.
Yep. Whatever. Earthbending Lesson. This is exactly what you think it would do. This is 3 and a green, Sorcery Lesson, Earthbend 4.
I don't think this card's good, but I also think there's multiple decks that want it.
That's a really funny way of putting it, and I agree.
Yeah, like I think blue-green needs lessons that impact the board, which this does. Black-green is interested in the counters on the lands. So I rated it maybe a little lower than I should, because I do think this will get played a decent amount of the time. I gave it a D+. You give it a C-.
Next, we've got Badger Mole. This is 4 and a green for a 4/4. When it enters, Earthbend 2. And it says creatures you control have +1/+. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have trample.
Yeah, nice little two bodies in one. We've seen this
Yeah.
template always do pretty good things.
Yeah, pretty solid 5-drop.
Yeah, let's give it a C.
Yeah, nice. Sabertooth Moose Lion. This is the double hybrids here. This is the Land Cycler. This is 4 green green for a 7/7 reach. And yeah, 4 cycling too.
Yeah, kind of whatever. Not embarrassing, but we both gave it a D plus.
Yeah, I guess Sabertooth is actually just like a normal thing. Also, very cute as the little baby at the bottom there. Bump it up a grade for that. Size makes sense is single green mana sorcery lesson. We're at uncommons now, by the way. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands you control. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them, put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, a cheap card that you're not often going to be casting early.
I wonder if there'll be spots where you like do this on turn 1 or 2 just to turn on your like one lesson in a graveyard thing.
If you're feeling lucky, yeah.
On one, like 2 is probably okay. On 1 is really spinning the wheels, like rolling the dice, I should say. Like you're really risking things.
Yeah, like on turn 2, it's what's it, Seed of Hope, right? The from March Machine. That's like look at the top 2, take a permanent. So those numbers are okay if you have a high permanent count. Really, you're hoping if you don't want to miss turn 3 or later.
Yeah, I think this card's solid though. I think like it'll
Yeah,
be played
me too.
quite a bit. I
Yeah.
gave it a C minus. You were lower on a D plus.
Yeah, I probably join you at C minus there. Shared Roots
Yeah.
is 1 and a green for a lesson sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. So it's just rampant growth, but a lesson.
Yep, and again, same thing we'll say about the Harrow, kind of similar. There will be spots you want this. We both gave it a D plus.
True Ancestry. This one's kind of a banger. 1 and a green for a lesson sorcery. Return up to 1 target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Create a clue token. This does so much, right? It's a lesson. It's cheap. It's a a draw 2 essentially. In installments, it's 4 mana draw 2, but you got selection on what you're getting back. There's a decent amount of self mill as we've seen.
Yeah, I like this. I was surprised that you're a little lower than me on this. I gave it a C. You were at a C minus.
Yeah. I'm also surprised. That one must have just slipped through the cracks. Put me down for C,
Okay.
maybe even C plus. Yeah. Unlucky Cabbage Merchant is a joke that they've told many times throughout all the various different versions of this set. This is 1 and a green for a 2/2. When it enters, you make a food token. And whenever you sacrifice a food, you can search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped. If you search your library this way, put this creature on the bottom of its owner's library and shuffle. Yeah, it's a funky card, not one that really has many comparisons.
Yeah, it's so funny that it gets like shuffled in to like relive the destroying of its cabbages later when you draw it again.
That is pretty funny, yeah.
Like again, there's so many good like flavor points on this. I mean, the gripes with the animal types aside. Also, notably, if you are making multiple food, you can get multiple triggers off of this.
Totally.
But baseline, like 2/2 make a food for 2 mana is already pretty good. We both gave this a C plus.
Yep. Sparring Dummy is up next. This is 1 and a green for a artifact creature. It's a 1/3 defender. Tap, mill a card. You may put a land card milled this way into your hand. If you gain 2 life if a lesson card is milled this way. Okay.
Very interested in this in blue green.
Yeah, because you're fairly happy with either one. Like obviously you'd rather hit a land. And that's really good. If this is gonna draw you a land every every third turn or something, like that's really strong. And milling lessons, gaining life, yeah, I really like this card.
Yeah, we both gave this a B minus.
We've got Leaves from the Vine. This is the other saga. 1 and a green, 3 chapters. First chapter, mill 3 cards, make a food token. Second chapter, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. Chapter 3, draw a card if there is a creature or lesson in your graveyard.
Not a 2-drop.
Right, yeah.
I think you're quite happy to double spell with this on turn like 4 or 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do get to do that, like just scenario 2-drop, 3-drop, double 2, If you're getting all of the things this card offers, you're milling cards, making a food, +2/+2 worth of stats, and drawing a card if you meet the requirement. So, yeah, it's fairly low floor and sometimes a little awkward, but the ceiling's there.
And you almost always draw a card with this, like
Right.
creature or less than after milling 3, like, and that's not going to happen until turn 4 at the earliest.
And combat's gonna happen in the meantime. It's hard to
Right.
imagine nothing dies.
Right. We both gave Leaves from the Vine a C.
Yep. Haru, Hidden Talent, is 1 and a green for a legendary ally. It's a 1/1, and whenever another ally you control enters, Earthbend 1. Interesting.
I like this.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
You do want to be like, it's more of a green-white card, probably. But as long as you've got at least, 10, 12 allies is going to be really good for you. I gave Haru a B-. You were at a C+.
Yeah. Rockalanche, up next. 3 mana, 2 and a green for a sorcery lesson. Earthbend X, where X is the number of forests you control. Flashback for 5 and a green. Yeah. I'm into it.
Yeah. Like, I think the normal play pattern is cast this turns 5 and 6. Because, like, casting at turn 3, you're not going to get a very large creature on this.
Yeah.
But if you, like, in mono green, getting a 5/5 and then a 6/6 for 3 and 6 mana is insane. And if you can get just a slightly smaller creature than that, it's still going to be pretty good. Plus, we've seen there's a ton of self-mill in green.
Right, yeah. Yeah, just drawing this for free is always good. Can't say anything bad about it. What do we give it?
Yep, B- from me and a B from you.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. It reminds me of Mask of the Jade Crafter, if you remember that from Brothers War. For those who played that one, yes. That card was a sleeper for sure. That one wasn't obvious it was good. Allies at Last is 2 and a green for an instant. Affinity for allies, so it costs 1 less for each ally you control. Up to 2 target creatures you control each deal damage equal to their power to target creature and opponent controls. So it's a bite, not a fight. And almost always, as long as you've got 2 things, you're going to be able to kill something. Could be 1 mana. It's an instant. I really like this card.
Yeah, I like your grade more than mine on this one. So you gave it a B+. I was a little more cautious on a B.
Yeah, because like the floor on it's fine. Like 3 mana, kill a thing most likely. And then when you do it for 1 mana, like that's so insanely good.
Yes.
We've got Toph, the Blind Bandit, up next. This is 2 and a green for a legendary ally. Star 3. When she enters, you Earthbend 2. And her power is equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on lands you control.
This isn't even like an earthbending build around. Like on its own, it's already still pretty great. Good.
Yeah, you're getting a lot for your 3 mana.
Yeah, you do notably want to like trade her off first because, like, obviously, if you get rid of your land, then she shrinks.
True.
So the fact that like the upside of her growing is kind of mitigated by the fact that you probably want to trade her off as quickly as possible. But Toph's great. We both gave Toph a B.
Yeah, really nice one. Kyoshi Island Plaza, the Last Shrine, 3 and a green. When it enters, search your library for up to X basic lands, where X is the number of shrines you control. Put them on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. And when a shrine enters, you get to search your library for a basic land. Rough, really rough. Like not even explosive vegetation, right?
I think they could have like this could have cost 3. No.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just those. Ooh, rough. Okay, yeah, we
both gave it a D.
Yeah. The Boulder, ready to rumble. This is 3 and a green for a 4/4 legendary creature. When the Boulder attacks, Earthbend X, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 4 or greater.
So minimum 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because it counts itself, obviously.
Yeah, so we'll ask the question, is this worth the risk you're taking by casting a rather expensive creature with no enter the battlefield or protection? I think so. I think... Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the 4th toughness helps a lot on the 4-drop.
For sure. Yeah, that is like... I save this because my whole thing with that is already a bit wordy of what you want to consider with these expensive creatures. But the third thing that I don't often mention is, yeah, if he can block well, not having 3 toughness for 4 mana, that's another thing that's nice.
Well, and not dying to the lightning strike or the
Mm-hmm.
-5,
Mm-hmm.
-3 is also pretty big too. Yeah, I gave the boulder a C. You were a little lower at a C minus.
We've got the Earth Kingdom General up next. This is a 3 and a green 2/2 ally. When it enters, Earthbend 2, and whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on a creature, you may gain that much life. Do this only once each turn. It's a pretty nice one, I think.
I agree. Yeah, it's, I mean, 2 bodies for 4 mana, gain some life. Like, there's a lot to like here.
Yeah, and like, obviously in like black green, you can gain quite a bit of life. But even outside of black green, if you're just earthbending here and there, getting 2 life, 1 life a turn, like that adds up really quickly.
Yeah, it's an ally too. Like,
Yep.
this, you gave this a B minus. I was at a C plus.
We've got Earth Rumble up next. This is 3 and a green for a sorcery. Earthbend 2. When you do, up to 1 target creature you control fights target creature and opponent controls. Black or green?
Two,
Green Chupacabra.
2 bad cards stapled together. I think in this case makes a good card.
I think so too. I think it just squeaks by to being pretty good. Like, not even just squeaks by to being playable, but just squeaks by to being like, yeah, that's solid.
It's also really nice to curve Earthbending Lesson into this on turn 5.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Because then you make us like you're making a 6/6 fight and then attack with your 6/6 is pretty good.
Okay.
So yeah, I do. You do need like big creatures, as this is almost like a build around. Like, you
Yeah.
need to have big creatures in order to play this. But we both gave it a C.
Yeah, and I guess worth noting, there's not a ton, like, green doesn't have a lot of beef for cheap. Like, some sets, the green just like 2s and 3s are actually markedly bigger. I don't think that's the case in this set. So just a note there.
I mean, there is the 2/3 Death Toucher. Like, you could always
Yeah,
just
that's a good point.
kill anything and then be left with a 2/2 in play.
Yeah, for sure. Invasion Tactics is 4 and a green for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn, and whenever 1 or more allies you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So, a little at odds with itself, right? It's like +2/+2, you want to end the game with that, but then like drawing cards, it kind of points towards prolonging the game. But it also just means that you might just be fine casting this on turn 5 as like not a lethal spell. Just, maybe make an awkward block, draw a card.
Yeah, like if you have like Glider Kids or whatever it was, the white 2/3 flyer.
Yeah.
Like there's spots that you could just be pretty happy even just pumping one thing and getting in for a few turns in a row.
Yeah.
I do think this card is going to be played in most green-white decks. So for that reason, I gave it a C minus. You're a little lower at a D plus.
Yeah. I think green-white exclusive, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's maybe a corner case. Bumi, King of 3 Trials, is 5 and a green for a 4/4 legendary creature ally. When he enters, choose up to X, where X is the number of lessons in your graveyard. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on Bumi. Target creature scries 3. Sorry, target player scries 3. I don't know how a creature would scry, but that'd be cool. Earthbend 3.
That's a nice little payoff.
Yeah, like if you get 2 out of the 3, you're pretty happy about that, right? I think probably Earthbend 3 is your default. Yeah, this is the one I'm going to choose most often. Sometimes you make a 7/7 just like to outsize everything your opponent controls.
I don't think it'll be that hard to get all 3 of them.
No, for sure. Yeah, like 3 lessons by turn 6 is definitely doable, especially with a bit of self-mill.
So yeah, we both gave Bumi a C plus.
Yep. Flopsie, Bumi's buddy, is 4 green for a 4/4 legendary creature. When Flopsie enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and each creature you control with power 4 or more can't be blocked by more than 1 creature.
Tough card to evaluate, I think.
Yeah, I like the first line of text on a 4/4, 6-mana 4/4. Like, I'm not over the moon about it, but I like it. You're also just gonna have situations where, the board goes from kind of even, maybe you're slightly ahead, to you play this, your opponent then has like really bad blocks. I think it's worth your 6 mana, and that's always important because some 6 drops aren't worth your 6 mana.
Yeah, I agree. And not being like most of the go wide decks are allies, and it's not an ally, which is kind of at odds there a little bit too.
Yeah.
You gave Flopsie a C minus. I was a little higher at a C.
Yeah. All right, so that is the end of green. So bring us home here with the green overview.
So green's commons, none of them are super exciting in my opinion, but green's very deep.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that this slide doesn't show is the uncommons layered in here. And if you were just paying attention to the last section, green has a ton of good uncommons. So I do think green's going to be a pretty good color, even if it doesn't have the B level cards at common. And again, if you're in monocolor, I think that there's going to be totally enough to work with here. Like Rockalanche could be a fantastic card if you're supporting it.
Yeah, and green actually gets like a decent amount of interaction here. Like, that's sometimes green gets like one good one and one like not great one. I think there's like 1 or 2 pretty good ones and maybe some middling ones. So yeah, that's always nice. Like green gets a lot of tools in this set. Sometimes green's tools are a little more focused. I think there's a nice spread of different things, like big creatures, decent cheap cards, decent interaction, good ramp if you want that kind of thing, good mill if you want that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely agree.